Hi, what's going on, everybody? This is Poe from the Offenders DCUO PC US server. I'm making this video per request. I've gotten, over the past months, I've gotten maybe 30, 40 private messages sent to me asking me how they should spec for healing or DPS or summoning or destiny. I mean, it gets pretty ridiculous. Normally not a big fan of heavy explanation videos, but I figure I'd do this just for the per request, you know, whatever. Try and help people out. The very first thing I will say off the top is that there is no correct answer to sorcery, which is why I like it so much. There is no perfect spec. There is no, you know, cookie cutter spec, I guess you could say. However, there are levels of efficiency when it comes to specking. And unfortunately, there are the most efficient specs that you could do for healing and damage when it comes to power management. And while they are really, you know, you can put out numbers, I mean, it gets borderline robotic in the way that you play. And if you're just playing for fun, or you're extremely casual, or, you know, unless you're in some type of 8-man constant static going for speed feats, feel free to just play the game how you want. I mean, we preach it, a lot of us, you know, in the league preach it, play the game how you want. I am going to go over what I find to be one of the more unique properties to playing sorcery, which is how I'm constantly spec'd. In fact, just now for this video I respec'd. I think it's been months since I've actually respec'd. I mean, quite a while, because you can actually have a very efficient dual spec, and being completely honest, it doesn't require all the best gear and all the best skill points, because I was specking this way back when I was level 63 skill points, which was back right when update 2 came out, I believe. So quite a while, and it works. It really does. And I mean, I have a nature character that's 30, almost full tier 3, and then dual specking does not work remotely as well. Now, the reason I'm making a dual spec video and not a healing or DPS spec video is because it has the foundation of both. So if you're looking for healing or damage, keep watching, because you'll see how it. You'll just see. All right, so let me open up. Yes, I play with the controller. I have currently 108 skill points. I don't even think that's the most in my league or anything like that. Honestly, after you get 72, 73 skill points, all the rest is just gravy. I mean, it's all just on the top. It's icing, it's whipped cream, whatever, you know, pick your metaphor. I will start with the powers, because this is what sorcery does, that, you know, etc. In Destiny, now, no heal or DPS tree is complete without circle of protection. Let me get away from this guy. Circle of protection is a great heal. It's probably the best heal you have as a sorcery healer. It is very good for DPS. I have noticed some ninja nerfs of it over the time. However, for the power cost and the damage you get from it, it is tremendously efficient. It works incredibly well. Yeah, you know, you can't beat it, really. One of the best things about it is, you'll notice it says right here that it gives you a 50% damage buff. For a normal damage rotation, regardless of your weapon, 50% buff, especially with sorcery, is ridiculous. Make sure you keep your weapon combos going. Do not rely strictly on your abilities whatsoever. A really good DPS rotation is all about half white numbers, half yellow numbers. It's not about trying to go over the board on either of them, because, you know, doing all the weapon damage in the world with a full power bar, you're not maximizing your potential, and the same goes the other way. I mean, if you're constantly have no power and you're never attacking with your weapon, you're probably doing something wrong. Now, this current spec, what you see I have in the tree, you have one great move for your DPS loadout, and you have 3 moves for your healing loadout, really, if you want to play it that way. You have Rejuvenate and you have Invocation. of renewal, and they are two fairly good heals. The best thing is invocation of renewal only costs 50, maybe 100 power more than rejuvenate, but it heals the whole raid. So if you're raiding, it hits all 8 people, including yourself. It does have a cast time, so you have to learn to play it smart. Don't just keep trying to spam this. It will not work for you. And if you see like 2 or 3 people that need health, I would personally use rejuvenate 3 times before this, simply because you want to make sure they get the health as soon as possible. And you could spam rejuvenate 3 times before invocation will go off once. If you are not confident with power returning to you via controller or via a boss that maybe you don't want to get too close to or don't want to risk attacking for whatever the reason, then go for invocation. Otherwise, you know, save it for when the whole group needs power, needs health, but it's totally worth it. Now, for DPS, obviously, you also want to buy your way down to Final Ruin. Now, I've heard lots of mixed things about Final Ruin, but trust me, I mean, in my DPS gear, I have over 1700 might and over 400 precision, 550 when I drink my precision cola, and I love Final Ruin. I mean, the best thing about endgame raids especially is the bosses have tons of health. Just because they're at 35% health, you could hit Final Ruin 10-12 times if you have the right person giving you power, and the numbers get absolutely crazy. If you hit your trinket, you drop down a circle of protection first, you get the 50% buff. I've seen Final Ruin second parts crit for over 3,500, 3,800. The biggest one I've seen has been 4,300. It actually wasn't one of mine. It was from a video from somebody else in our league. But I mean, it's tremendous. It's definitely worth it. Don't ever use it if they have more than 35% health. Now, 35% health is kind of a guesstimate. I mean, you're going to be spitballing it. But eventually you'll start to learn where it looks like, you know, on their life bar where that 35% is, and you want to make sure you go for it. Now, buying down to Final Ruin also gets you Weapon of Destiny, which to me is my most used move when it comes to DPS. I use it constantly. It lasts for almost as long as the cooldown is. You will notice you have to wait about maybe 3 seconds from the last Weapon of Destiny tick to when you can cast it again, which is not bad at all. In case you don't know, Weapon of Destiny simply gives you added damage. I can go give you a demonstration of it quickly. Let me switch roles, probably be on that bar. Oh, no, it's not. Let me add it to my loadout real quick. Yeah, Weapon of Destiny, it gives you a 45% weapon buff, so it's worth it. Even if it, I mean, honestly, it doesn't use much power whatsoever, so even if it didn't give you the extra weapon damage, so as you can see, I mean, 99s are really not too terrible considering I have no spec and I think I have healer gear on at the moment, so it's definitely worth it. Now, there's also recently been a change to Arbiter of Destiny down here, which we're going to buy to. It's now a 50% supercharge instead of 100%, and it is absolutely worth it now. I mean, when it was 100%, it was worth it. If you really kind of wanted to, Transcendence was slightly better at the time because you kind of were buying it anyway. It only took 1 extra skill point to get to. You'll see power point to get to. You'll see what we mean by that in a moment. But it basically turns you into a little like turducken thing, and you can only add moves to the loadout for it from the Destiny tree. So anything that you buy in the summoning tree, like Boon of Souls or Solo, will not work when you're the Wombat of Doom there. So be sure to you know, for me, I would add Shared Fate, I would add Karmic Backlash, you throw Final Ruin on there, Vengeance on there, and then your single target heal or your Circle of Protection. I would do both. So single target heal, Circle of Protection, and maybe another attack or two, and you'll be good to go there. Now, for the summoning tree, it is definitely the least used tree, and they did just buff the pets, and I have a combat rating of, I believe, 76, and they are still not worth it. I mean, they are cool and they survive now. They are the stupidest things in the world. They will attack for about 4 minutes before they go brain dead and just follow you. And once they're brain dead, you could despawn them, summon them again, die, get whatever. It takes a full game shutdown for them to come back from being brain dead. Not even switching characters will fix it, and that's in my experience. I could be dead wrong, but I mean, I think I remember. So you only really buy into summoning right now, in my opinion, just the way I play it, for dual specking, for Soul and Boon of Souls. That is pretty much it. I used to also get Transcendence instead of Arbiter, and I would have an extra power point right now, 3 instead of 2. But Arbiter is too worth it at the moment. Now, mind you, the Watcher pet is not terrible, and since the buff is probably a lot better. But, and honestly, if you summon a Watcher pet at the beginning of a raid, and it actually survives till the end of a raid, it is probably the most power efficient heal ever, because it's going to heal a ton. But mind you, if you're using the Watcher, it is almost useless unless you are also using this, which is Sacrificial Offering. What Sacrificial Offering does is it takes a little of your health and gives the whole raid, 8 people, a heal. It's a tiny little hot heal over time. It ticks for a couple times. If you combine Sacrificial Offering with Circle of Protection, it actually heals the whole raid for quite a bit if it's well placed. It's actually not that bad of a heal. If you have Boon of Souls on you, it does not take any damage from you. And if you have Red Soul Aura, which is the swirling red lights around you, it does not take any damage from you. But it's just not worth it. Especially, it's useless, completely useless in Fortress 2 raids. It just does not heal for enough, just flat out. I mean, and I don't see them buffing it, because it actually might become kind of broken in PvP. So it's one of those delicate things where just the end game content hits for too much for this to be worth it. I mean, if you're doing tier 1 alerts, this is just like the best heal that you could do. I mean, Sacrificial Offering is great. And the reason you want to use it with the pet is because it gives your pet power back. Not health, but power. So if you keep rotating between your Circle of Protection and your Sacrificial Offering, your pet will constantly be healing the whole time as well. You don't even need a single target heal. I recommend you, if you're healing, you might want to try that sometime. Now, for the DPSers, the Summon Fury does decent damage. It's actually okay in PvP, I'm not even gonna lie, because most people don't know to attack it, since most people don't use pets. If you're coming against an experienced group or a pre-made, of course they will take it out. It will be the most useless thing. But since free to play, it seems like every third party is a full group of brain dead retards, so go for it. Now, Soulstorm is a tricky one. It has huge damage potential, especially if you have Red Soul Aura. But I've not found a really good, worthwhile use for it, because it keeps you, the player, in far too compromised a position. If you can cast it in not a channeled animation way, if it was like, say, 2 instant, and you could cancel out of it, but the rest of the ticks don't go through, it would be worth it. But because it's not, I would just steer away from it. Again, my opinion. Life Element is actually the biggest heal that you will get as a sorcery healer. You basically summon this little red crystal over your head, and you can either throw it into a targeted monster, and it will heal any of the allies around it, or you could smash it right there at your feet. Now, if there's a healer, a tank, right there on the boss and nobody else, it won't split, so the tank will get the full heal. And non-split, this heal is the biggest one you'll ever see as a sorcery healer. It does, with the exception of a crazy, ridiculous, off-the-charts crit that you might get from, say, the Arbiter of Destiny, but that's also not realistic and dependable, because you're only going to be in Arbiter of Destiny how often. So when it comes to non-over-the-top, unrealistic heals, it is the biggest one you will see. It is not worth it because of A, how far down it is in the tree, so you have to spend an additional power point plus the one for it to get it, and it's also not necessary. I mean, if you are playing game content appropriate to your combat rating, you won't ever need a heal this big. I mean, if your combat rating is 55, you're doing tier 2 alerts or whatever, you don't need the heal this big, because you have the fact that you have 55 healing gear. You can heal for enough to heal the tank with your single target. If you're 65, you're doing the fortress raids, you definitely have enough to heal the tank. I mean, it is borderline unnecessarily large for how much it takes to get to. Plus, it's actually a bit of a power beast. It's also unreliable because sometimes you can drop the crystal, and if you get CC'd, it'll fly across the room. And I think more than once you throw it and it breaks and nothing happens. I mean, I have a video where I'm spec completely summoning tree just for healing, and you can see it's just not worth it. Now with the 2 extra iconics, you will hear everybody tell you that every other iconic is the best iconic in the game. So I will go over a couple just to be clear. 50 defense, 100 toughness. 50 defense doesn't even give you 1% damage reduction. You need 71 defense to get 1% damage reduction. So you better hope that your defense is high enough, and you just need an extra 50 to get the damage reduction. The 100 toughness is great. If you're PvPing all the time, go for it. Honestly, I'm talking PvE specs right now, and I'm talking dual specs right now. But as we go down, the 100 health, it's always good, but it should never be necessary. If you're playing with people appropriately rated for the content in the game that you're doing, you should just, 100 health is nice, it helps, but there's a reason these 2 have a shield, and it's really for the tanks. I'm not gonna lie. The tanks could use the defense and the toughness, the tanks can use the health. You know, just go for it. I mean, if you really insist that this is the best thing for you, absolutely go for it. This is probably the most useless thing in the game. If anybody tries to tell you why you should buy it, they're probably trolling you. I'll tell you that right now. The weaponization rating, I don't think it really affects the game whatsoever, unless you want to pick up cars, or if you want to run faster with the rock in Kandak, or with the crystal in Fortress 2. This is completely useless. I mean, it's cool, it's fun, but I mean, it's useless. The 50 vitalization 100 power, in my opinion, is the best iconic power in the game, simply because you cannot get power from anything. You can't spec into power. Most gear doesn't come with enough for you. I mean, everybody always needs power. The fact that it has 50 vitalization is completely aside the point. I mean, they should have thrown it with the dominance, and this thing would still be worth it. If I had 3 power points right now, I'd get it, but I don't, because they got arbiter, and arbiter is worth sacrificing the 100 power for me anyway. Now, since we're mid-specking, what we want is this: the 3% critical attack chance and the 3% critical healing chance. Now, if you were DPSing, you would clearly have these 2. If you're healing, you'd clearly have these 2. If you're dual specking like me, you just go this route. If you have extra power points from a damage or a heal spec, make 100 power your priority. Make the 100 health your second priority, just because its extra survivability is nice. When it comes to actual abilities in this tree, right here, Word of Power, probably the worst thing in the whole game, hands down. Sonic Cry is probably a close second. Sonic Shout is a power horse. You can do decent damage from it, but it's going to take your whole power bar, so it's not worth it. It's not efficient. Where is it? Neo Venom Boost is actually pretty good. The problem is, as a sorcery user, it's useless for us because we can't cancel into it anymore. Before, we'd be able to hit Neo Venom and hit Weapon of Destiny the way a Gadgets user can hit Neo Venom and then hit Intimidate and cancel into it. We can't do that, so we hit Neo Venom. We want Weapon of Destiny with it at the same time, but by the time the Weapon of Destiny animation is done, we already missed 1 or 2 ticks from Neo Venom. It does, from my personal experience using log parsers, it does help with your crit chance, but it's probably not worth it. And if you have DPS gear, using the new mod system, you can actually get that crit chance permanently. So aside from the weapon tick, which is probably not worth it from how much power you're going to be spending to use it to get the weapon tick that you can't cancel into, so you lose some of the damage, it's just, in my opinion, not worth it. Amazonium is incredible. It used to be one of the best things, especially against, you know, Frank Sinatra's out there, Ultra Lords out there, the folks hacking, the folks exploiting. Pop this, if they were hacking or exploiting on you, they would just fall over dead. The problem is, stuff was hitting for too hard in PvE, so it was killing itself. So they made it actual hard numbers based now, so it doesn't do nearly as much damage, and it doesn't keep you alive for nearly as long, but it's still pretty good. In my opinion, Hard Light Shield might be a little bit better if you're trying to stay alive. If you're trying to, you know, if you have a lot of might and you throw back damage, I would trade Hard Light for Amazonium. That's just me. But that's also talking PvP more than PvE, and if I get lots of requests, I will make a PvP video of that. Now I will get to skill points. Now, personally, for my DPS rotation, I am a fan of low pressure system. And I know that might sound weird, but I will get to it. I am also a big fan of Vacuum Bubble. Again, I will show examples. Now, I'm currently a bow user. I do not buy Rain of Arrows. I buy Flurry Shots. Flurry Shots is absolutely worth it. It's some of the best DPS in the game, but it's also really good when you're healing because you don't have to focus too hard on your weapon attacks to get good combos. You know, you don't even have to look at what you're attacking, just keep clicking the buttons. Now, here's my advice for mid-specking. Your first two priorities are might and resto. So the bow tree has might in it. I bought the 3 might. We'll go to brawling. It has neither of them. Dual pistols has resto. So if you have light skill points, what you do is you buy 3 skill points in, and then you want the resto. For martial arts, it's the same thing, except I believe you have to spend 4 skill points. And what was the other one with resto? Dual wield. Yes, dual wield. So dual wield and dual pistols, you only need 6 skill points combined to get the resto. Add an additional 7 from martial arts. You have 13 skill points just to get the resto. That's all the resto you can buy. So I spent 7 skill points for my weapon attacks. So that's exactly 20 skill points. If you're healing, you need 20 skill points for all the resto and all of your weapon attacks. That's it. I mean, 21 because you have supersonic flight, or 22 if you know your super speed or acrobatics. It's nothing, and that's what you want to make your priority. Now, same deal for if you're DPS, you want your might, and it costs a little bit more to get down because might is always 4 down on the trees. But it's definitely, see, I started the game out the first day with hand blasters, biggest regret ever, but you know, whatever, free skill point. So you're looking at 22 skill points max for your resto, and about 24 for your might if you're DPSing. So it's really not too bad. Some weapons require just a hell of a lot more skill points for the moves. If that's the case, you know, you're looking at still less than 30. I mean, the last time I leveled a character to 30, when I got to 30, I had 36 skill points. I happen to know all the feats to get. I know most people aren't that lucky, but there's no reason after the first day or two that you're level 30, you shouldn't have all the resto and might if, you know, you're single specking. Now, the next priority you want to make is crit chance, not magnitude. So now, because I'm dual specking, I want all the healing magnitude and all of the damage magnitude. Not magnitude, excuse me, chance. So there I go. Grab the chance. Some trees have both of the chances at the bottom. They're actually really good for dual specking. Rifle and two-handed seem to be those. So if you use rifle or two-handed, it will require less skill points for a good dual spec. Now, mind you, once you have the resto and the might, you're kind of dual spec'd. The chance is nice. The magnitude's nice. If you notice you're dual spec'd but you're healing more, go for the healing chance more than the damage chance, obviously. Vice versa. You really just need, though, the resto and the might. Because the chance is good and all, and it helps. It absolutely helps. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's not necessary. There's a huge difference. You can complete pretty much all the tier 1 raids in this game, plus FOS 1 and FOS 3, without an issue if you just have the resto and the might, without any of the chances or the magnitudes. It shouldn't be an issue. You should have a party that's able to cooperate with. I understand if you're pugging, it's a hassle, but I promise you, if you're pugging and it's a hassle, the chance and the magnitude isn't going to help you. It's not going to make a bad group good. You know what I mean? It's about the skill. It really is. That's one of the best things about this game, which is what I was saying at the very beginning. Play how you want. I mean, if you absolutely love Hard Light Shield and Sonic Cry and Word of Power, use them. I mean, you could probably still pass everything in this game. That's the beauty of it. And they even made it much more of an easy mode with the novice raids, which means you can kind of RP your way through a raid with all Superman powers from Iconics and still succeed. I'm pretty sure it's not that easy, but I mean, it's got to be close. So let me just finish buying these chances. And then it gets me down to magnitude now. So I personally find myself only healing when I raid. Every other thing I do on DPS, I go alerts, I go PvP, etc. So I prioritize damage magnitude over healing magnitude. Also because I have pretty crazy mods in all of my pretty crazy gear. So the extra critical healing magnitude I would be getting, it would only be really icing on the cake. So, let me just get, okay, for some reason my resto disappeared there. Maybe I just didn't buy it. Yeah, so now I see I still have 15 skill points left, so I appear to have all the chance there, so I'm going to go for healing chance. I don't know what's going on with my cursor, how it keeps jumping back to Hand Blaster. But yeah, I think I pretty much got it all. I probably am missing one, but it's really confusing that it keeps jumping back to Hand Blaster, so let's just call that a spec. Now, I have 3 extra skill points. I'll figure out what the issue is after. But I mean, that's not too big of a deal. I actually have it all. Honestly, it's been this long since I respec'd, I didn't think I actually had the skill points for all that stuff, but I guess I do. So yeah, there you have it. There's a full mid spec, and I have 3 extra skill points, so I'll just buy health. Because now let me get back to the loadouts. I mean, loadouts, there's no right loadout. I mean, that's just getting to the ridiculous. So I'm just gonna set it to what I'm used to. I don't copy me, really. Set to whatever you're comfortable doing. Where's the wombat? There it is. Now I will show the DPSers a little bit more, and 1 or 2 tricks for the healers for when you're playing. But aside from that, you guys pretty much got it. You get what I'm getting at. The abilities are pretty important. The skill points really aren't. I mean, when it comes to hard stats, they are, which is why I say might and resto. If you're a tank, health, you know, I guess a little dominance, but you guys should be good for there. I don't have a set kind of DPS loadout right now. This one seems to work pretty well. No, I really don't use Vengeance all that often. It just... Let me put my DPS gear on. It's just a nice icing on the cake type thing, and honestly, if you get the procs to crit from Vengeance, it's pretty nice damage. It costs almost no power. I mean, look at my power bar. There's a Vengeance. I mean, it's next to free. If those guys, if 2 of them crit, it's worth it. If 3 of them crit, it's probably one of the most efficient damage moves you can have in the game. Now, low pressure system, I know you probably don't know a lot about. So this is it. 200 damage to both of them. Now, if there's 12 guys here, they're all going to take that 200 something damage. If there's 30 guys here, they're all going to take that 200 something damage. It crits for well over 500. If you pop your trinket first, you pop the low pressure system. Alright, 269 is not bad. Let me grab some colas, get some power back. There's a good 450 crit. I mean, I've seen him crit for over 600 before. Depends on how high of a roll you get. That's all that is. Weapon of Destiny, constantly keep it at something like this. You want to just, you know, get as many procs as possible. The crits are pretty nice. I don't really think I have anything else to add to that. Vengeance I don't use a whole lot. You can put something Karmic Backlash, Condemn, I mean, there's a couple other things you can do. Point is, whatever you put there, you're probably not going to be doing too much, because you're probably going to be using your power for Weapon of Destiny, Circle of Protection, your normal rotation. You can put Soulwell there too, but I mean, it does a little damage. I don't think it increases your damage though. I think that's just referring to the tick. It doesn't really do much. I mean, I've parsered it. It does seem to increase your crit chance by about 3 or 4%. But the problem with 3 or 4% in a log parser is it just, I mean, I could have just been getting lucky rolls. There could have been no difference. I mean, I personally think there might be a little bit of a difference, but it's not a little bit worth it. Put it on your loadout. Now healers, this is what I really wanted to show you. It's about canceling, which is not cheating by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not really, you know, frame canceling. I'm animation canceling, and I'm doing it in a way that is just to help you survive as a person. Now, Soulwell, in case you don't know how it works, when you're healing, you drop it near the DPS. Anytime they kill something, the story of the Soulwell is it sucks the soul from the thing that dies. The point of the Soulwell is anybody that's standing near it when they die gets a heal. The heal doesn't take any power from you. You can put more than one up at a time. I mean, look at the cooldown on it. It's already ready. So you can put them all over the place, and anytime somebody kills something near it, everybody near it gets a heal. It's incredibly efficient. The problem with Soulwell is the animation takes so long. I don't know if you noticed, but I was hanging out there for a little bit. And if you're getting where the DPS are, especially if they're melee DPS, you are not doing any favors for yourself, because you're standing near the enemy, which is not what you want to do. So Boon of Souls, which is your shield, happens to have the exact same cooldown as Soulwell. So every time you hit Soulwell, you hit Boon of Souls and you get out of the animation. It's not a very complicated thing. You can get in the habit of every time you hit Boon of Souls, you roll away. I mean, rolling clear is about 10 meters from the target. It's worth it. Another thing you can cancel into with any heal. So you can cancel with Rejuvenate or Invocation, which I wouldn't recommend because it's going to keep you there. Circle of Protection does not work because in DPS role it is considered an offensive ability, and it only works with purely defensive abilities. Now, Circle of Protection also has somewhat of an animation. I would prefer to cancel that with my single target heal just because it gives you that gold ring right around you. That gold ring increases your crit chance by 10%. Another reason that your crit chance skill points are less useful than your restoration skill points, since you constantly will have a crit chance buff. I mean, they do stack together, so you have even more of a crit chance, I know. But the fact that you have something, you know, little to help you out. This is our equivalent of Insect Form. Insect Form, they constantly have a 15% crit chance buff and a 45% crit magnitude buff. This is our constant 10% crit chance buff. I mean, it's pretty balanced. I know we don't get the magnitude buff, but we also have Circle of Protection. So it's pretty balanced. That's all I really wanted to say. I guess with Arbiter, this is what it looks like. It does absolutely ridiculous amounts of damage. If you're DPSing, I mean, you might find it more useful than Vacuum Bubble, but I don't. I mean, I have all healer gear on. No, I don't. Never mind. But, I mean, you throw Final Ruin on here, you will see 7,000 crits. Yeah, 7,000 damage. It's pretty silly. So, that's my video. If you have any questions, feel free to post them.